Top 10 Truly Disturbing Facts About Japan's Suicide Forest. Formerly known as the Aokigahara Forest, one of the most puzzling spots on Earth is otherwise called the Suicide Forest. As the name recommends, this is a result of the sheer number of individuals who have ended their own lives there. Truly, several individuals end it all in this most chilling stretch of forest each year. Perhaps the timberland pulls in individuals who wish to end their own carries on with because of its own horrid history of suicides, practically like an unavoidable outcome. Or on the other hand, maybe there truly is something really abhorrent that bends people groups' brains and considerations. Or on the other hand, may we locate that attractive inconsistencies have such a ghastly impact? Here are 10 reasons that the suicide forest is a really upsetting spot. 10. The place is littered with ribbons. In the event that you adventure into the suicide forest, one of the principal things you will notice will be strips. And keeping in mind that that doesn't sound extremely chilling in itself, the backstory to them is: everyone basically speaks to somebody who at any rate went into the woods with the point of slaughtering themselves. Be that as it may, numerous individuals would take a long bit of shaded lace with them. They would attach it to a tree after entering the woods. The explanation behind this was on the off chance that the individual adjusted their perspectives and afterward could discover their way back out again. Quite regularly, however, if you somehow happen to follow these strips, you will frequently find a dead body toward the finish of them, frequently dangling from one of the trees. It is really a troubling update, for the various visual magnificence of the district, that numerous individuals come here and never leave. 9. Personal items are scattered everywhere. Another nerve-wracking disclosure you ought to hope to discover in the suicide forest are numerous individual things. Such things as cell phones, scratch pad, and even things of apparel. Once in a while these things will be found in little heaps. As though various individuals at various occasions have halted in these spots to go over their musings. Maybe for a last time. You may likewise find void beverages bottles close by, boxes and bundles of professionally prescribed medications. The vast majority who end their own life here do such by hanging themselves. A portion of the individuals who enter, however, pick to overdose on such medication. Once more, what makes these things all the additionally chilling is the acknowledgement that each is associated with a once living individual. An individual who felt such misery that they ended their own life here. Also, just to pound that point home further, they probably did as such approach the spot where the things are found. 8. The ghosts of the dead support suicide. As we would envision, there are various stories of apparitions and spirits living inside the timberland. Notwithstanding, a few legends recommend that these spirits even urge individuals to end their own lives as they wander through the trees. It is a far and wide confidence in Japanese old stories that when an individual passes on an unexpected or fierce demise, this will make them become a yurei. These spooky spirits are said to move their fury and outrage onto the individuals who wander their direction. Numerous individuals, for instance, frequently talk about how they feel abruptly on edge with no explanation. Or on the other hand, how rushes of dread or frenzy defeat them abruptly. Envision, at that point, having these sentiments while previously managing veritable self-destructive thoughts. We may likewise take note of that there are a few different areas around the earth where individuals talk about abruptly encountering serious negative feelings. As we will inspect further in our last section, the explanation behind this may one day demonstrate to land rather than paranormal. 7. Warning signs are everywhere discouraging suicide. On the off chance that any of the above doesn't pound home the sheer number of individuals who have taken their own lives in the suicide forest, at that point the various admonition signs dabbed around notice individuals explicitly not to end it all maybe will. What's more, these signs can be found wherever all through the forest. Not just do these signs contain the alerts endeavoring to persuade individuals to adjust their perspectives against self-destruction, yet they additionally publicize various telephone quantities of associations who endeavor to help individuals in such a dull casing of mind. Whether these signs do have any kind of effect to the individuals who enter the backwoods with contemplations of ending their own lives or not is maybe open to discuss. The way that specialists have taken these measures, in any case, maybe exhibits how genuinely they take the issue. Furthermore, when we see our next point, it is anything but difficult to perceive any reason why they would do as such. Part 3. 6. Around 100 bodies a year are found in the forest. It is believed that around 100 dead bodies every year are eliminated from the grotesque woodland. Also, likewise, there are a lot more that stay there for quite a long time before discovery. Special bunches adventure into the woodland. In the event that they locate any dead bodies, they promptly inform the police. One individual from the gathering, normally a more established part, will typically stay at the scene in order to guarantee nothing is upset. In the event that by chance they find somebody alive, perhaps as yet pondering ending their own life, they will accompany that individual back to safe houses close to the woods. Once there, they are unequivocally urged to acknowledge the assist they would expecting to get back from the dim spot wherein they get themselves. It isn't difficult to envision why the individuals who play out these troubling obligations become burned out on travelers visiting the timberland and regarding it as a spectacle. However, as we will investigate in our next point, we can't be certain beyond a shadow of a doubt of these figures as Japanese specialists no longer distribute them. 5. Official numbers are no longer given. In a further exertion to end the sheer number of individuals showing up at the suicide forest to end their own lives, specialists would take the choice to quit distributing official numbers. What's more, just as the individuals who prevail with regards to ending their own lives, there are additionally many different endeavors that for different reasons, maybe they were talked out of it or essentially reconsidered their arranged activity, that are not successful. Not just were the numbers seeming to draw in the consideration of the Japanese populace, however even producers would set their accounts there, normally spinning around the hero ending it all or engaging musings thereof. Maybe probably the best model would the Gus Van Sant film Sea of Trees from 2015. Once more, this is maybe an incredible showing of exactly how genuine an issue the suicides really are. Regardless of whether this activity has accomplished a drop in suicides in the timberland is not yet clear. 4. Camping overnight is frowned upon and discouraged. For those hoping to set up a shelter and camp in the suicide forest, you will be emphatically disheartened from doing as such. Also, that being said, you should truly remain on the official pathways. Eventually, such aspirations are viewed as impolite by numerous individuals of Japanese. Maybe along these lines, those searching for troubling experience regularly remove themselves profound into the timberland from the path and watching eyes. This regularly prompts individuals getting lost and disorientated. What's more, the temperatures frequently drop to freezing around evening time, which can possibly make further issues for those glancing remain in the backwoods overnight. The primary purpose behind this, however, is to dishearten individuals to remain in the woods for a delayed time frame, particularly in the event that they are holding contemplations of self-destruction. What's more, when we proceed onward to our next point, it is more than simple to perceive any reason why. 3. Many believe a detestable energy resides in the forest. Along these lines to the legends about spooky spirits, numerous legends spin around the possibility of the suicide forest just being a position of unadulterated wickedness. Regardless of whether because of spirits or basically an underhanded vitality, a few people buy into the hypothesis that terrible things occur there in view of a heavenly force. If we accept that malicious shows from past occasions, at that point the way that endless individuals have taken their lives in this spot would absolutely add to that. Be that as it may, even before the spate of suicides in the late 20th century, the timberland had a troubling past. A genuine case of this would be the training during the 1800s, when numerous families would carry their older to the timberland and leave them so they could pass on with poison the woodland. It is surely a fascinating if melancholy idea. Be that as it may, for our next point we will go to the historical backdrop of the woods and how it appeared. What's more, eventually, why it may have such a dim otherworldly nature. 2. Eruption of Mount Fuji. The production of the woods was down to an ejection from Mount Fuji in 864. The after effect of this was 12 square miles of magma being spread over where the woodland presently stands. When the magma solidified, nature reclaimed the area as trees and hemlock developed in bounty. In the hundreds of years that followed, the Japanese adored Mount Fuji as a divine being. Moreover, an incredible profound connection was framed between the general population and the region. This emission additionally prompted the developments of unusual cavern frameworks and natural hollows inside the woods. A large number of these are unexplored and frequently have fantasies and legends connected to them. This itself adds more layers of interest to the puzzling woodland. Whether this starting to the timberland has an association with its dull nature is theoretical and begging to be proven wrong. For our last point, however, we will go to science and ongoing revelations that may reveal insight into way the Aokigahara forest apparently causes, or possibly, enhances dull considerations. 1. Might magnetic anomalies cause the suicides? As of late, a few specialists have proposed that geomagnetic oddities may actuate such dim considerations in individuals. Particularly the individuals who are as of now self-destructive in any case. It is the idea of certain specialists that these geomagnetic abnormalities happen under the ground where the woods dwells. Furthermore, given that these aggravations change constantly, that may give us why the self-destruction rate apparently shot up in late decades in the horrifying forest. The group who directed the examination likewise took a gander at different records of geomagnetic action throughout the years in different nations. They would find that these regularly come about an expansion in suicides. What's more, these, thusly, diminished when such geomagnetic oddities ceased. Perhaps one especially intriguing finish of the examination was that these geomagnetic unsettling influences apparently influenced man considerably more than ladies. While more exploration and study is required on this hypothesis, it is unquestionably a fascinating one.